Hello everybody, welcome to my shop. I'm Stephen Cox. Today we're going to talk about jump starters and battery chargers. I've been a mechanic for about 16, 17 years now, and I have used a plethora, that's the word of the day calendar working out for me, plethora. I've used a huge amount of different battery chargers, starters, jump starters, and universally they are all complete junk. Pretty much every single one you buy at any big auto part box store, AutoZone, Pep Boys, O'Reilly's, they're all junk, they're all trash. If it says Schumacher on it, I hate it. They never work. Up to this point, I have had zero success, or maybe like 10% success with most battery chargers. Most of them kind of work most of the time, and half the time, some of the time, but all of them will leave you stranded. When you're working on heavy stuff that has two batteries, like diesel trucks, you know, the Sport 6.0, Ford 6.4, Cummins, any kind of on-the-road truck that have two batteries, still 12 volt, but you got two batteries. When they go dead, geez, you have to leave the normal battery charger hooked up for hours and hours. A normal battery charger is like an inverter style charger. It's where it'll only put out voltage for a little while and then stop when you're trying to crank it up. When you get into heavy equipment, you get even bigger batteries. You get D-series batteries, which are 3 times the size of a normal truck battery. And those guys consume a ton of amps. Generally, you have to result into pulling another piece of equipment up, or pull your truck up and then hook the battery cables up, your jumper cables, and then go, wait for 30 minutes and then crank. If you have a 24 volt system, it's even tougher because you're pretty much not going to be able to go to any auto parts store and get a 24 volt battery charger right now. You can order one from Napa, and I've used one from Napa, and it's junk. I hate it. It doesn't work that well. It seems like they have a shelf life of about 90 days or exactly 1 week after the expiration date of the warranty. But with all that said, I have found the perfect battery charger for every single shop out there that'll do 6 volt, 12 volt, 18 volt, and 24 volt. This thing is freaking amazing. I love it. And it'll also jumpstart 400 amps and an actual 400 amps, not a BS 400 amp peak. We're talking about an actual 400 amps right now when you set it up. And it's this guy, this Associated Equipment battery charger. They've been making this same style battery charger since the 50s, I believe. Now, I'm not a historian of the company or anything, but I have seen this exact Associated charger in pictures from the 50s and 60s in shops. This thing works phenomenally well. It's an American company. They make everything in-house. They assemble everything in-house. You can call them right now and talk to somebody who speaks English on the phone. And in today's world of just junk electronics, it's invaluable. But this Ford 6.0 is completely dead. I'm gonna hook up this battery charger, show you guys how to hook it up, how to do the settings on it, and we're gonna figure out what's wrong with this 6-liter Ford. Why you say that?
You're amazing and I'm retarded. What a combination.
Why are you retarded?
Because I like listening to you.
Oh. Well, I like listening to myself, so we can be retarded together. Now, a couple of things. Number one, this guy needs new batteries. You see all that green powdery stuff on there? That means that the top of this battery, right where the post comes up through the top, has started leaking acid, and the acid has actually started corroding and attacking this cable. Same thing on that battery over there. It's just started to leak. And generally that means you got a really old battery or just a cheaper battery, but all batteries are susceptible to it, especially in climates like Texas when it goes hot and cold, hot and cold. Now, before I even show you the battery charger itself, these clamps are freaking beefy as hell, and they also have a little side post provision. So you can slide that guy out, stick it on your side post, and then let the clamp go, and the clamp will actually clamp it to the side. So you can do top post and side post with these. These are very thick, very nice, heavy duty, quality freaking cables. I have not found a set like this on any other battery jumper, jump starter, battery charger on the market. It does not exist. If you want the best quality, heavy duty clamps, Associated Equipment is the only company in town that makes these. Now, something really neat that I absolutely love about these cables, you get your cables hooked up, and on the ground side, they actually have this little doodad in here, right? What this is for, you touch this side to the negative side, and if it's green, that means you have it connected correctly. That means your positive is on the right side and negative is on the correct side. If you hook them up backwards, you get a red light, meaning stop. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna say that, oh man, what kind of idiot would hook up a battery charger backwards? I'd never do that. I never make mistakes like that. That's because you don't hook up enough of these enough time on equipment, because sometimes there is so much crap on top of the batteries you can't really tell. And if you have multiple batteries, especially like 24-volt system, wired in series or parallel, and you're unsure, that's a quick way to test it to make sure you're on the right side. Runs on 110 volts with some very, very simple to use dials on here. So this looks really complicated, but it's not very complicated, okay? All you gotta do is match up the little colors, right? You have a multi-position switch. When it's here, it's to the right, down, left, or up, then you connect power. If it's on the middle part, then it's open and it's just, it's not gonna work. So right now, we're gonna want to put it on 12 volt, right here. We want it on high, so if you see 12 volt has that kind of prison line, for lack of a better term. Go over here to high, 12 volt, and then our timer. You start it, and that's how many amps we have. We're on high. So something I like to do when charging 2 batteries at a time, like we're gonna be doing on this one, you set it on high for a little bit. That'll rush some amps into the batteries, and then we're gonna put it on low. From high down to, that's off. Back over here, you can tell we got less amps. Now we got 20 amps. Now we got like a trickle charge, about 5 to 10 amps. So I'm gonna leave it on 20 amps right now. Now if I put it on 12 volt crank and I put it on high, it's gonna max out to 100, and we have a available of 400 amps. Now you're only gonna be able to put out as many amps as the system is drawing. So if the batteries are shorted to ground on these, then we put it on 400, then this charger will supply 400 amps. But just because you put it on high does not mean that you're gonna be forcing that many amps into the system. You will force that many volts into the system if you're not careful. Wherever you're pointing this guy to is where your voltage is gonna set. So, keep it on that. Keep us on 20 amps, let it charge for a little while. And that's the best way to charge 2 completely dead batteries. Now right now, I wanna diagnose this truck right this second, and I'm impatient, so I'm gonna put it on high. Not even gonna put it on crank to start, just gonna put it on high, hook up my scan tool to the truck, and then figure out what we got. So we got our battery charger hooked up. It's been charging for a little while. I'm gonna go ahead and put the battery charger on high, and we're gonna crank this truck and see if it starts. Well, it needs a little more diagnostics. I was filming a different video using a scan tool, and it actually fired up a while ago. Fired up, ran fine, sounded fine, which was odd. So I got a sporadic problem somewhere I got to figure out. But this battery charger works like a champ. This battery charger has worked fantastic. Now, keep in mind, this is an expensive unit. This is not your home shop, home gamer, I just need to buy one to start my lawnmower kind of deal. This is I work on a crap ton of diesels and heavy equipment, and I need something that will supply enough amps right now to where I can diagnose and get this thing running. And it's very, very well built and American built. So if you're gonna buy this particular 6002B, it's gonna cost you about $1,500. Now I know that price is probably gonna shock a lot of you guys. It's not gonna shock the guys who are diesel mechanics and heavy equipment guys that realize a 6 volt, 12 volt, 24 volt battery charger, they're just not cheap. They're expensive pieces of equipment. And this is one of those buy them once, cry once. Once you buy one of these, you have an American company standing behind the product. You can call them, you can get all the tech support that you need, you can send it back to them. They will completely restore your unit. Even on the old ones, Justin with a Good of Land, on one of his videos, he's got one from like the 60s and 70s. It's been repainted 100 times. Thing still works fantastic. You're probably not gonna have any issues, but if you do, you'll be able to talk to somebody in America on the phone and say, hey, I'm having this issue. They do have a bunch of different models out there. I will have a link in the description for a couple of those models. You might not need 1824 volts. You probably don't need 1824 volts, but they're still gonna be high quality, and the price is going to be equal to what you would expect to pay for an American-made product that's high value, high quality. So guys, I hope you liked the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know if you guys have ever tried associated equipment. To me, these are the end game when it comes to battery chargers. There is no other manufacturer out there that makes a battery charger like this. They're just not. I don't care what the brand is. I don't care what auto parts store you got from. They just don't make them like that. Hope you liked the video. Get out and fix it.